Reading in bed.
I haven't thought about flying for a long time. I haven't dreamed at that moment when I was alone above the clouds for a long time. I've dreamed waking up in a room surrounded in blue and green grass for more years than I could dream of remembering. I haven't walked back into the past or scratched on the doors of my origins, where it all came from, since I held up that cape for the last time.
Return to Kent Town 10th Year Anniversary Edition is a revised version of Andy N's first poetry book. The book can be purchased from Amazon and it contains numerous additional material.
Reading in bed.
Amanda,
It's episode 30.
I know. I know we've had habits in the past, haven't we? We just really say you feel sorry for our poor readers for putting up with us for so long, but now it's almost a case of like, where was the time gone actually?
Yeah.
I can't believe it. Anyway, you think seriously guys, like when we started off reading in bed, did you want to think about it going on 2.5 years later?
No.
Exactly. So Callum says it all done. So, but anyway guys, seriously, I am Andy N.
I'm Amanda Steele.
And thank you again for tuning in to Reading in Bed. Usually we have about 15 minutes of waffle before we actually get going with what's been going on and stuff, don't we? But there's not a lot to report really, Amanda, not at the moment this time, is there really?
No, all I think for me is I just brought out the last issue of Printed Words.
Yeah.
After 18 months of when...
Yeah, you've been running backwards and forwards. I mean, you're mostly backwards as well, so...
Yeah.
Yeah, that one's finally out now. I don't know what else I've been up to now. I've done a fair bit of writing, haven't I? And you know, and obviously we've got bits and pieces on the go. I'll look at our various blogs, you see what we've been up to generally, but I've got quite a bit going on Ocean and Bottle-wise at the moment, because I've just agreed for a 2-album deal, which will be out in the autumn, with a Belgian record label called Off Records. I don't want a release date for that yet. I've been on quite a few different podcast series, haven't I? And I've got other things on the go, so it just was the country still in lockdown, so hey, it's just a funny time at the minute, really. So, but anyway, it hasn't stopped us reading, has it?
No, we've been reading a lot.
Yeah, and what you're going to find out, we can reveal this now, obviously. You know, obviously at the end of episode, we usually tend to drop hints on what we're reading next month. I could probably actually reveal next month what I'm going to be reading, because I've read 2 of them. I've run 2/3 away for a third, and I know what the fourth's going to be, so you're something similar, aren't you? So, yeah. But we'll do that later. Anyway, Amanda, what are we reviewing today, first of all?
We're reading a book from an author who we actually saw either last year or the year before. I can't remember when it was now.
Years have been version to one. I think it was the year before last, actually. Probably wrong.
I think you're right, actually.
And what is the book called, Amanda?
It's called Sirens, and it's by Joseph Knox.
Yeah, I've got the blurb here, or have you got the blurb?
I've got the blurb, but you can read it.
Do you want me to read this one then?
Yeah.
Okay. The best-selling debut from the winner of a Sky Arts Writer of the Year award. The next big name in crime fiction, Joseph Knox. Detective Aidan Waits is in trouble. After a career-ending mistake, he's forced into a nightmare undercover operation that his superiors don't expect him to survive. Isabel Rossini, or Rosetta I should say, has run away again. When the teenage daughter of a prominent MP joins Zach Carver, the enigmatic criminal who Waits is investigating, everything changes. A single mother, missing for a decade, Carver is a mesmerised figure who lures young women into his orbit. Young women who have a bad habit of disappearing. Soon Waits is cut loose by the police, stalked as an unseen killer, and dangerously attracted to the wrong woman. How can he save the girl when he can't even save himself? Right, Amanda. Strengths.
It's based in Manchester.
Yeah, well, it's a funny. There's plenty to say about this, but the setup was good, wasn't it? You read the blurb and the book makes it sound like it's quite a clear narrative of what you're going to get, really, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And I felt like he was the writer actually knew Manchester. Would you agree with that, was he?
Yeah, except some of it felt a bit unrealistic, like living in the northern quarter, which would be too expensive.
Yeah, detectives. They do say they're on better money, but you don't hear of many detectives living in the northern quarter and central Manchester, that's for sure. But I found it a bit funny because obviously Aiton Waite is a detective living on the edge, which is unfortunately a cliche to start with anyhow. He's quite happy to accept the odd little gift, enjoy a crafty sniffer and test the strength of it by sniffing copious amounts of cocaine, which isn't very realistic, unfortunately, to start with anyway. And you agree with me, it came borderline with a cliche straight away with that, wasn't it?
Yeah, I got confused at one point because I thought he's just like telling everything to these criminals. And even though that was supposed to be part of the plan, it's like I think he was telling them more than what he was supposed to be telling them.
Yeah, you got like, don't you like it? I found it a bit weird because he had when his superintendent Pars confronts Waits, outlining his numerous misdemeanors. He suggests a solution that benefits both parties. No, you don't. If he gets caught doing all the bad stuff he'd done at the beginning of this book, I know what happened. Out on his bike, basically, wasn't
Yeah, I want to say it's unrealistic, but I
Yeah.
don't know if that's me being naive or not,
No,
or
it
stuff like that really happens.
No, it was completely on the top based, that's why. So, and it was, and obviously he wanted him to do this, and he tried to force him, didn't he, to infiltrate the activities of gang supreme Zane Carver. And the only way to achieve this is to go into deep undercover.
Yeah, they're very trusting criminals as well, aren't they?
Yeah, because it got a very confusing the narrative in this, but some of them clearly knew he was a copper.
Yeah.
And I was very surprised they would trusted him in the slightest after that. That's why, but I've not got any other strengths, to be honest. I've got plenty of weaknesses.
I've not really got any weaknesses or strengths. It's just it was very just not memorable at all for me. This time next week I won't remember it.
Yeah, I'm going to be frank here. We read this about 2 weeks ago, didn't we?
Yeah.
And I couldn't hear the name. They wouldn't name the right name, the main character. That's terrifying. Because I was saying to you before, Manda, because people might know, obviously. Well, we're both just starting the first steps coming out of isolation now, Manda, aren't we? So, because I've had to be isolated for 12 weeks because of diabetes. But do you remember we went out for a walk this morning, Manda, didn't we?
Yeah.
It was the meadows we just started to walk around now. And I was saying to you, I couldn't even name the characters.
Yeah, I did remember Aiden, but I wasn't sure. But looking at the blurb now, I was right. But that's about it. That's all I remember.
Yeah, and it was the trouble with it was, and this is on the weaknesses now, was I found it completely unrealistic. And the trouble was, bad enough is unrealistic, but you've got to care for the character. If the characters are on the edge, a real bad boy, what's the hook?
Yeah.
There was no hook, was there?
No, there was nothing really where you couldn't care less. It's like someone could have pushed him over a cliff and you'd have been like, oh well.
Yeah, and it wasn't just him that, mind you. The full book was littered with characters. There's nothing sympathetic, and I knew quite a few of the bars he was actually referring to. The geography's right in Manchester, but I thought to myself, I don't recall people going into these bars and talking about what drugs they're going to selling to somebody else, stuff like that.
No, but I suppose it's a fictionalised version of Manchester.
Yeah, to account as an alternative reality. Right?
Yeah.
That's why. Did you feel it was too long as well as a book?
It did seem to go on for a while.
Yeah.
I don't think it was as long as it felt.
No. I felt it was at least 100 pages too long, to book, to be honest, and it seemed to drag in places. And one thing we did disagree on, weren't we, was the end of the chapters. You taught me, well, a really good book has a cliffhanger, if that's the right word, at the end of every chapter. There's not barely any in this. It was all very flat. The end of the chapter with me. I sat there thinking, how much more of this bloody book have I got to read?
Yeah.
And then I found out, I'm with Frank here, I'm 2/3 of the way through it. I think you just about finished it. And you were thinking, oh, if Andy packs his book in, I'll pack it in as well.
No, I remember I was about, quite a way into it, more than half anyway. And then you just finished it and you said the last 5% or whatever is like the beginning of the next book. And I was relieved because I thought, oh thank God for that.
Oh, that was it.
Because that means that I don't have to read
Yeah.
that bit then, so there's less left
Yeah.
for me to read than I thought.
Yeah, you did. You did do that, didn't they? So they bunged in, and which is a common trick sometimes with the Kindle books. They give you what if the second book's ready for publishing or out, they'll give you the first part of it, won't they? The first chapter or
Yeah,
two.
to be fair, I've put an epilogue into some of my books before, so.
What chapter 1 from the next book and stuff like that.
Either a chapter or just the first few pages, just depending on how much I've got at that time.
Yeah, sometimes it gets criticised, don't you? Because they're like you're padding the book out, makes them longer than what it is. But that's what it is. It is what it is, really. But again, like I said, it wasn't particularly. I found it very densely plotted. I didn't think it was that well wrote either, don't you? It just seemed, didn't it? You're the expert in spelling and grammar. Was there much problems with your side in that?
I didn't notice any problems with that. It's just I didn't really care about anything or anyone. It's just the world. It could just get blown up like aliens to come and destroy that world, and I'd be like, oh well, never mind.
Yeah, it's the problem I had with it all along, that really, because it was.
It'd make a nice twist as well.
God, yeah, it would have been mine the same under the dribble I've put up with. But are you fond of Ian Rankin's books very much?
I've only heard of him. I've never read anything.
I've read bits of it before, and he's a good writer. His books are very based. I think he's Glaswegian, if I remember correct. And is it what this young writer trying to do? He's obviously trying to go to Ian Rankin territory, set in Manchester.
Yeah.
Trouble is the Ian Rankin's books, and the character's really good. Like, it's well wrote all the time. This wasn't. It was bloody awful. It was.
Yeah.
Sorry to put it frankly.
So it's not a recommendation then?
I'll give it a 10. What are you going to give it, seriously?
I'm giving it a very generous 6, and this is only because the year before last we went to see him and another author doing a talk, and he seemed a nice enough person, so.
Yeah, no, that was the best thing about it. Really a nice bloke, nice funny guy, but this book wasn't. I found this book very. It's done us a shame really, because I thought you're right in person. He's a lovely, funny man. This book isn't lovely and it's not funny.
His other books might be better, you don't know, but it's just after that I won't be finding out either.
What do you know I'm going to give it?
4?
Correct. Absolute. It wasn't the worst book I've read.
So it's
Really
got a 10
bad.
between us.
Yeah. It kind of says it all really, doesn't it? So, sorry. Next!
Next.
Right, okay guys. With that, we're going to conclude part 1. Hopefully, part 2 will pick up a little bit.
There's something demonic next.
What demonic in the fact that the book's so bad? Or is demonic as it draws you in like a demon?
You'll have to find out.
Yeah, that's a good cliffhanger, right? So
Ding, ding, ding. That's what you should have done with your chapters.
Yeah, exactly. Lure people in, right? Right, guys, seriously. See you in 2 minutes.
Bye.
Bye.
Reading in bed.
Hi, guys. Welcome back to
Reading in bed.
with
Amanda Steele.
and Andy. Okay, Amanda, straight over to you, because I know this is your first solo book of the month.
Yeah, I have a book called The Demon in Me, and it's by an author called Ashley Tomlinson.
Okay, now, do you want to read the blurb out?
Yeah. Akari has been murdered. In her last moments, she sells her soul to ensure revenge against her murderer. Now she's a demon in hell, working for the devil himself to collect souls from others. She has to live with the consequences of her rash, last-minute decision, falling in love with the Prince of Darkness, possibly the biggest of them all. When Akari learns that a dangerous demon is trying to overthrow Lucifer and escape to Earth with millions of other rebel demons, she knows she has to take action. But how can Akari, a young novice demon, stop another vying for the throne of hell with an army on his side?
Right, I think I remember you telling me about this book. What drew you to want to read this, first of all, and how did you find it?
Okay, so this was on Read See Discovery, where you get free books in exchange for a review.
Not that I ever know that one. Well, that's enough story another day now, but yeah, go on.
And it reminded me a little bit of my own book. And then you always have that panic when you come across a book that reminds you of your own book, like, oh, I need to read this because I need to make sure it doesn't look like I've copied it, even though I've never heard of this book before now.
Is it quite a new book, is it?
Fairly new. I'm not sure 'cause the exact date it's come out, but it's pretty recent.
You know, so
Thankfully, it turned out it wasn't too like it. There was just a couple of things that were similar near to the end of my book that reminded me a little bit of this book.
yeah, that's fair enough. And so, obviously, do you want to tell people then what the strengths of this book are?
Okay, so it had a really good start. It jumps into the action with the main character's experience of being murdered and brought back to life. And the author has a good balance of sharing some graphic details. There's lots of blood and gore.
Oh, you're so and straight away,
Yeah.
isn't it? The more bloody, the better with you.
But then there's like other scenes that get skipped over, so it doesn't like linger on it too much and just start splashing about with all the blood or anything ridiculous like that.
Well, that's unlike you then, baby, isn't it?
No, it was a reasonable amount without going over the top. So then she gets a revenge on the killer, which leads her to going to hell and becoming a demon because she's sold her soul to get the revenge.
Is it like an adult book or a teen fiction book, this one?
She's a young woman in her early 20s, I think.
Right, because obviously anyone might read your book.
So it'd probably be classed as new adult.
New adult, yeah.
Yeah.
Your book obviously was Ghost of Me, which is when you're referring to it, you thought about some similarities. Your character was in the 30s, wasn't she? So
Yeah, she's 36 when she dies, my character.
this one's much younger, so that's fine. So, okay, is this an American writer, this one, or is it British?
I think she's an American writer.
Fair enough then. So, I know. Carry on with your strengths then. I'm presuming more you want to say, isn't
Yeah. So the character of Lucifer was interesting.
Go on.
Because with us watching Supernatural, I think that's the main...
Oh, that's not Lucifer.
No, but that's like the main idea of like what I think of at least with Lucifer, apart from this TV series of Lucifer as well. But I usually think of the Supernatural version, and this was like a different version. It was much sort of softer, and it looked like they were just going to jump into bed with each other at first.
Oh, yeah.
And I would have been a bit fed up with that because it's like you just met the devil and you just jump into bed with him. But then it ended up being quite a sort of sweet, romantic sort of sub-story between them. And gradually fall in love over time.
Oh, God. Oh, God.
But obviously he's still evil, and when she's not around he does all the evil, devilly type stuff that devils do.
Yeah, okay. Oh, blimey. Okay, and what else? Is there anything else you want to say about before we carry on?
I like the idea of, this is where it reminded me of my book, because I'm not going to reveal what happens near the end, but something happens near the end of my book where she can get revenge on people, and this is what the character does here. She has to go and bring back souls and stuff who have done things wrong and kill them and bring them back to hell.
Yeah, of course.
And she was a bit reluctant to do that at first until she finds out that most of the people she has to bring back are evil, like killers and rapists and stuff like that, and then she starts enjoying it.
She gets corrupted by the power.
Yeah.
I've got the power! Ooh,
Yeah, it was a bit of girl power though, and like, come along, kill this rapist, take him back to hell, and boom.
Go to bed with Lucifer and go back and do another one.
Yeah.
Oh,
Well,
wow.
she'd go to bed with him until like much later in the thing. Oh, because like I know there's a lot of books out there, and they just seem to jump into bed with each other and instantly fall in love. And I thought, oh God, it's not going to be like that, is it? But at least it actually happened over time, and it was a bit more realistic than just like, oh look, I'm in bed with Lucifer.
Yeah, I get you. So, Okay, is there anything else you need to strengths or the character weaknesses?
I think it was really well written. The characters felt believable.
Unlike the previous book.
Yeah, which is a good thing because it's like you're writing about hell, and which a lot of people don't believe in, or don't believe in the way it's presented here. But if you can manage to make that sound believable in that world, then you've done something right.
Yeah, of course. So, was there anything else you didn't like about the book?
The only downside for me, and this could just be the copy that I got, the formatting didn't seem quite right to me. And some of the dialogue didn't seem presented in the way it should be, but in the actual book it could be different.
It's previews sometimes, isn't it?
Yeah.
So, previews like sort of music can be funny sometimes. So, okay. So I presume that's it then. So,
Yeah.
do you want to give us the finale mark?
I'm giving it an 8 out of 10.
What's that, -8?
8 out of 10.
Oh, what, 4 out of 10? You mean halves? You mean 4 or 8 halves?
No, I don't mean.
8 out of 10, of course.
It's still a recommendation because it's over 7, so
Yeah,
I recommend it.
That's a good recommendation, basically. Right, guys and girls. Well, that's the end of part 2. We're off into the sunset next.
I look forward to it.
Sunset Park. Right. Anyway, so see you all in a minute. Bye.
Bye.
Reading in bed.
Welcome back to Reading in Bed with me, Amanda Steele, and...
Me, Andy M. Right, Amanda.
What are we discussing?
Paul Auster, my favourite novelist.
Never heard of him.
I know, very helpful, isn't she? So, now,
No, I have.
I'm going to be reviewing his novel from 2011 today, to Sunset Park. You want to know why, Amanda?
Because you love him.
Well, this is a bit funny, this, because I've read all of his novels, apart from this one and one of them, which I've got to read, actually. And I remember bought this at the time. He bought this book out for about 6 months after a novel in 2010 called Invisible one. And this one followed it quite quick. And I just think I tried reading it twice. I kept getting distracted back in the days, and it's been in a bookcase ever since. But since I've been in lockdown, I've had a chance to start going for a few books and stuff, haven't we? So
Yeah.
I've been dangling around for a while. And this, I decided to do this one. So, what do you want me to do?
Start with the blurb.
Okay, a bit of a long-winded blurb, this, I'll warn you, okay? In the sprawling flatlands of Florida, 28-year-old Miles is photographing the last lingering trace of families who abandoned their houses due to debt or foreclosures. Miles is haunted by guilt for having inadvertently caused the death of his stepbrother, a situation that caused him to flee his father and stepmom in New York 7 years ago. What keeps him in Florida is his relationship with a teenage high school schoolgirl, Pilar, but then her family threatens to expose their relationship. Miles decides to protect Pilar by going back to Brooklyn, where he settles in a squat to prepare himself to face inevitable confrontation with his father that he'd been avoiding for years. Pulsing with the energy of Auster, Invisible, actually reading the blurb wrong, pulsing the energy of Auster's previous novel, Invisible, Sunset Park is as mythical as its contributor is in love with baseball that is with literature. It is above all a story about love and forgiveness, not alone among men and women, but also fathers and sons.
Okay, so what were the good points of this
Right,
book?
yeah. It's interesting because I admired it for a couple of things he did in this book really well. And it's a hard one, this, because in his previous book, Invisible, and in fact his previous 2 books all been first person, focused straight through the eyes of one narrator. This book was done through stories of 4 different people. You were moving from one chapter, one person's eyes, to another, all told third person. So it's like, the book itself follows the lives of 4 young people through various misfortunes and found themselves having to squat at a house in Brooklyn. Each character is given a separate chapter which you learn more about their backgrounds and how their lives are entwined. There's large points of expectation where we're spoon-fed what each character is thinking. And it makes it quite difficult for the reader, this. Do you understand me? Like, you've been told everything.
Yeah.
It tells rather than shows this book, and it's usually one of the joys reading Auster, actually. It does tend to go on and on and on, but this is a bit of a funny one because the book also deems the book itself, when it came out, was wrote in 2009, that era. We go through a massive crash in America. So the book's covering a lot of the big crash in America.
Yeah.
It deals with massive themes of poverty and wealth and love and hate and friends, inner peace and inner torment, property, space, and what it means to be old and young. That's some going, isn't it, basically?
Yeah.
But the protagonist, like I said before, is Miles Heller, who's a 28-year-old son of a local book publisher. And it starts off, it gives you a question. It says he's guilty of his stepbrother's death, or is he?
Probably not.
Just
It'd be a bit boring if it got to the end and it goes, he was guilty after all.
It was guilt basically, that's why. So, but then it was. So anyway, he ends up living in a squat in Sunset Park, a derelict Brooklyn suburb, and the wooded house. He said you meet all these people basically, and you get 2 other characters called young women called Alice and Ellen, who are struggling to write and paint and get jobs. The book
I
is
can relate. I can relate.
He's creative. But all these people are creative. Nobody's in the book are creatives or writers or some sort of struggling. So it's like, it's a bit of funny. It's almost like it's saying like everybody in the world is a struggling artist.
Yeah. I bet he's probably drew on his own experiences. I mean, obviously from a long time ago, because he's very successful now. But everyone starts off somewhere, don't they?
Nearly all of his books are about writers that are struggling. It's a bit bizarre. Every single one is. His current one, in 4321, that came out 2 years ago. That is about a struggling writer. It seems to be a regular in the theme of this. So.
See, we've all been there. Even when you get successful, you've been there at some point.
Yeah, it's the book is sort of realistic. It's a coming of age story, and it shows younger men and women struggling to cope and grow up in the wombs of early life, and how they move on to it. So, and like Miles says, before, he's the main protagonist, but the story revolves from each of the squats inhabited to another, and skipping a different bridge to gap the generation above. So there's different ages of people in there as well. But it's also, like I said, it's also a lot about the recession in America at that time.
Yeah.
So it kind of dates itself. So it's a bit funny, really. So a lot of it's to do with the constant need for money.
Yeah.
Which is another common theme of Paul Auster's money, or the lack of it, really.
Yeah.
And that's what it seems to be about this. So it's a funny one, really. So, but anyway.
So any bad points?
Yeah, there is a bit. This one. A lot depends on what you want, really. Because the earlier books, he takes time in this book explaining each character rather than telling the story of each of his characters. In this case, it seems a bit distant and it doesn't seem to flow as well. And then it also doesn't get very real when he starts dating a 17-year-old girl, which America's underage.
Yeah.
And I've got to read this bit out, read and review someone else's, and tell me what you think of this, right?
Yeah.
Not long after Miles and Pillar strike up a relationship, so much for not wanting anything, she moves in with him. Conveniently, she's also recently orphaned. But Miles still fears someone will spot them together and turn him in for statutory rape, so he drops her off a few blocks from her high school every morning. And when this may sound scandalous, Auster practically sterilises their relationship in his attempt to legitimise it. Because the girl's incredibly bright, intelligent, curious, with brilliant SCT scores and essays that need not the one correction. And he's almost so polite and well-mannered to her. He sets her off on a path towards a brighter and future engineering visit. But even in bed, this is the best bit, he is far from predatory. Pillar fears getting pregnant and establishes the mummy hole was off limits, forbidden to male members.
Well, she actually uses that to describe it.
Yeah.
No one talks like that. The mummy hole. It's a new one.
I know. That's what I mean. And Miles accepts her terms about crime. I said it's only the most prudish reader could probably really find his relationship objectable. The problem is, it don't feel real either.
Yeah.
And that's the problem I've got with this book. His other books sometimes can be a bit going away in the land of the fairies, but there's so much is missing from this book. There is. That makes sense.
Yeah.
And it was the trouble is it's Sunset Park. And this is the problem I've got with this book is it's written in quite a lot of summary, large chunks of exploration, but it's telling you without giving you any kind of feelings what the characters want. And that way, then you can't form your own impressions. Do you get what I mean with that? It's telling rather than showing. You can't really get to grips with it. It's a difficult book, this one, to understand. Some people may enjoy it, but I find it quite painful to read, don't you? Let alone really enjoy.
So what are you going to give it as a rating?
What do you think?
I think it's going to be a recommendation because you love Paul Auster.
6.
Wow. I'm very surprised.
It's the worst book of his I've ever read, don't you? Next month I'm reading another one of his, and that could be entertaining as well, but we'll come with that next month. It was borderline, but I couldn't get to grips with it. The trouble was, his previous book, Invisible, was potentially his best novel he's ever done. This came out straight after it. It felt rushed. Do you understand what I mean with that?
Yeah.
I don't know, there's something missing from it, so. Anyway, guys and girls.
We'll be back with another book. Hopefully
Yes.
better.
I hope so as well. I've not had a good month this month for books, unfortunately, so far. Alright, and let's hope, Amanda, and we don't split then before we get to the next book.
That's a clue.
Yeah. See you all in a minute. Take care.
Bye.
Bye.
Reading and bet.
Hi guys. Okay, on to part 4 tonight. We're going quick in Amanda today, aren't we really?
Yeah.
So, and this is Amanda's second solo book.
So this is called The Split, and it's by Sharon J. Bolton.
Okay, do you want to give us the blurb?
Yeah. No matter how far you run, some secrets will always catch up with you. The remote Antarctica island of South Georgia is about to send off its last boat of the summer, which signifies safety to resident I can't pronounce that, so I'm not going to try.
Okay.
Felicity Lloyd. Anyway, she works with glaciers. That's the general thing, what the word means that I can't pronounce.
Oh.
So anyway, Felicity lives in fear that her ex-husband Freddie will find her, even out here. She took a job on this isolated island to hide from him, but now that he's out of prison, having served the term for murder, she knows he won't give up until he finds her. But a doctor delving into the background of Felicity and Freddie's relationship back in Cambridge learns that Felicity has been on the edge for a long time. Heading to South Georgia himself to try to get to her first is the only way he can think of to help her.
Okay, what led you to this book?
Okay, so this was another pigeonhole book where you read a stave every day for between 10 and 13 days.
Anyone might guess it, Amanda does like doing pigeonhole books, don't you? You've got one on the go from that normally, haven't you?
Yeah, because obviously I don't have enough books of my own.
Yeah. Oh no. No. How many books are in your Kindle, Amanda, does the people know?
Only about 100 or so.
And you've got about 100 here on top of it, haven't you, as well,
Yeah.
so in paperback. So
So
and
it
plus
makes-
you go on these and all your other
So it
stream
makes
sites.
sense to keep getting free books so that I never run out, ever, in this lifetime or the next.
Now, what drew you to this book then?
Okay, so I think I read a slightly different blurb from this, because I knew before I read it was to do with split personalities, which is why it's called The Split.
Mm.
And the good points, there's a lot of really good descriptions, because she's out, like, examining these glaciers, so she's obviously full of ice and snow and stuff, and there was a lot of good description, so you could picture it and things like that, rather than just saying, oh, there's lots of snow over there. It was a bit more creative than that.
Yeah, of course, get it completely. So, okay. And what else then?
I liked the split personality storyline, and without spoiling it too much, it turns out she has quite a few split personalities.
Right, so
Never determines exactly how many, but there's like a few main ones and then some smaller ones.
it's a bit like that, blimey, that film with James McElroy in, isn't it? That sort of territory, is it?
A little bit, yeah, but she's not quite as psychotic as that.
Yeah, no, I get you.
Even though they do think that she's murdered people, but I can't tell you whether she has or not, but she's not psychotic. So.
Okay, how quickly did it become apparent then? Because it's not in the blurb, is it, around split personalities?
No, I don't know where I read it, because when I signed up for it, I already knew it was about split personalities. So
How quickly did it come into the book itself then, if people are interested?
in the first few chapters, there were hints of it. Like, there was another character called Bamba, but you never saw them in the same place, and like when one went somewhere else, the other one appeared, so it started to look like, is this split personalities?
Yeah, I get it completely.
Or is it two separate people? And then you realise, there's more than just Bamba and Felicity, and there's a few others as well.
Yeah, of course. Is there anything else you like about the book in particular? What was the pacing like of the book? Was it quite a quick paced book?
Yeah, it starts off where she's acting a bit shady. She's in South Georgia, and she's worried about someone who's coming to get her, and it sounds like she's been abused. And then it flicks back to a time before, and it's a long time before it gets back to that point again.
Mm-hmm.
But it makes her out to be the victim. So if I'm slightly spoiling it here. She doesn't turn out to be the murderer. But if she had turned out to be the murderer, I would have felt a little bit cheated, because it starts off with being the victim and you feel sorry for her. And if they'd had it where she turns out to be the murderer, I'd have felt a bit like, oh, you really feel sorry for this woman. She's a psycho.
Yeah, I'm getting completely. Okay. Is there anything else on the strengths before we get to weaknesses?
No, I think that's it really.
Okay, let me ask you a quite additional question. We're going to weaknesses then.
Yeah.
Oh, how many days did it go on for this then?
So it started off at that point. It went back over quite a few months, I think it was, before it got to that point.
No, I'm
when she
sorry.
was still in England.
I meant not that. This is a website that serialises the books.
Oh,
here.
right, yeah. 10 days. And like, there's a lot of mixed reviews as well. There was a lot of people that were saying that if it wasn't Stapes and it was a book, they'd have read it all in one go. And then there was a lot of old people who had read, most of the people who had read work from this woman before, who said they were disappointed compared to the rest of her work. So she's obviously written different stuff before, and those fans have read this and they don't like it.
It goes that way sometimes, doesn't it? So, right, weaknesses then.
Okay, so with the descriptions, I think there were too much at some point, and I think they went over the top, so we got to the point where you got lost in them and you couldn't picture the scene. Now, if it just had like less description, you might have been able to picture it better, because it was just too much information.
She overwrote it basically, didn't she? So
Yeah.
places, yeah. Okay, completely. That's a shame. Okay, is there anything else on the weaknesses then?
Yeah, the psychiatrist Joe, who goes to Georgia to help her, the way he's a counsellor before that, and you see bits of his storyline, and then you see bits of her storyline, and then it just seemed a bit far-fetched the way it connects them near the end.
Yeah.
Like all the different things that have happened, it just seems as would that really happen like that in real life?
Yeah, okay, completely. Oh, yikes. Yeah, completely with that. So, is there anything else you want to talk about before we conclude?
No, I'm ready to give it a mark.
Okay, what are you going to go for?
I'm going to give it 9 out of 10.
Oh, is that because the bits that are overwrote stopped to go for 10, do you reckon then?
Yeah, I think so, yeah. And some of the coincidences.
I mean, that's good mark. Best mark of the day so far. So, excellent stuff. Okay, guys and girls, that's the end of part 4. What's next, Amanda?
So it's a surprise, you want to tell me? Is it an audio book, I think? It's a book that's been wafted in my face. Okay.
Now, anyone's wondering, surprise! Poet's Corner next. Okay? See you all in a minute. Say bye, Amanda.
Bye, Amanda.
Reading and bet.
Welcome back to Reading in Bed. We're going to get all poetic now, aren't we?
We are indeed. Now, this book itself is by a young, well, I say young gentleman, but it's actually a little bit older than me, so, but don't look it, who I did a feature on recently for a spoken label, called Thomas McColl. Now, Thomas has recently brought a book out on Fly on the Wall Press called Grenade Genie. Do you think it's a good title under that?
Yeah.
Yeah. There's not actually really a blurb on the back of the book, it's quotes from other writers, so should I read them out?
Yeah.
Okay. Writing honestly and perceptively, McColl explores what it means to be alive in these unsettling times. He takes poetry seriously, but never himself. Drawn by Rodney Wood. Grey Genie is a collection that is well needed in these uncertain times. Political poetry should be read and heard. I do highly recommend this book to anyone interested in the current contemporary poetry scene. The urgency within these pages needs to be heard today. Matt Duck. Okay?
Yeah.
I've not really got any strengths of weaknesses about this, I've just got some notes, okay? So, the book itself, Amanda, and I'll do this so we can split bits, you ask me to read bits out, okay?
Yeah.
It's a collection of 25 poems told over in the 80 pages, so you can see straight away there's some quite lengthy poems in this there is. And it's split it into 4 sections: cursed, coerced, combated and corrupted.
Okay.
And each of these sections corresponds to these descriptions, taking a contemporary theme and offering the authors insights to a mixture of wit, humour and poignancy. Now, some of the pieces you can obviously enjoy more than others now. There's the first piece I want to read, a extract from the cursed section.
Yeah.
This one's called Not Quite So Sure, okay?
Yeah.
And this goes on for just around 2 pages. I'll read at the first stanza, okay?
Yeah.
The council is yet to cut back the branches of the trees in Newman Road, which means that halfway through my journey to work on the bus, and as always just as I fall asleep in my usual back seat in the upper deck, with my hooded head at rest against the glass, the low-lying branches attack me in the dream I'm having. And I'm caught out every time because I'm always so tired. In any event, I guess it helps. Be one of these hundreds of thousands of people, always let themselves be eaten and spewed out by any one number of 100 branded hairless bisms that charge us in all kind of directions every day. Now, what I like about him is his work, and this piece obviously he's showing an unsettled, tired worker through the eyes of the streets and the bus he's travelling on. And it's very narrative sort of poems. You know, some poems are very snapshots.
Yeah.
He tells quite detailed stories in some of his he does. And it was like, it's gone about natural regeneration, so it's like, it's a bizarre piece that was. So, in this first section, there's a lot of outsiders in it really again, and you've got the evil eye. You've been evil eye next. And he starts off, listen to this one, right? You've gone too far, clearly unable to hear my plea, but still I tell you, son, you wouldn't expect a key to leave its shadow behind when picked up from a table. But that's what's happening to you online now. It's like, you know what I mean? They're all narratives, aren't they? So it's like, quite weird really, in places. And it's when you start off the first section like that, then you go into the cohort section. The tone of that one is it's a lot lighter, because his job, and I don't want to give too much away, because he works in the government, he does, as in helps out with an MP's assistant of some sort. Yeah. And then that's where you know it's like, you get a piece called security pass. And it's like, I can relate to this because of the job I do, so I've just been made permanent, yet I already know I'm completely unexpendable. In any event today, I've at least seen the full security pass. It comes complete with fresh taken photograph. My face is bending a grimace that was nothing more than confused surprise at the sudden camera flash. My expression at Crummer's pass was a desperate act of brave defiance. Oh, no one's fooled. No one cares. So you mean that is? Can you see the cynicalism in these pieces? Can you?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's an interesting book really. So there's all good, because the second section covers modern addiction to shopping, dress codes, and fashion. And obviously, this book's just come out, so obviously it was rolled to a fall. The lockdown happened, so I've been interested to see how his pieces are reacting to it now. That's why now. There was another piece when right at the end of this one called Jen or Jean, and I've got to try and find this. Sorry about this, because this is where it felt like to me this was either he bumped into an ex-girlfriend or somebody he knew. And you read this, okay? I hadn't seen her in years. Her name was Jean or Jean. I couldn't remember which. My face lit up like a fruit machine when she caught my glance with passage on Southwood Bridge. Hi Tom, she said, and as she pressed play, I felt compelled to take the chance. The names began to spring to out of my head. Jean. I pressed stop too quickly. I had little choice and settled on Jean. Hi Jean, I said. It wasn't. You get what I mean? Like there's a subtle sense of humour in these pieces sometimes, isn't there?
Yeah.
Like I know I've done it before now, and I've bumped into people, and you haven't seen them for years, and you stood there thinking, fuck, what's your name? And he's got that sort of the second section, he's got some very slight bits about it. That's why. But I found it was quite interesting really, that's why. So I'm going to keep off the third section, because that takes further swipes of consumerism that veers into the difficulty of being a pedestrian on the busy packed streets of the city. And it's quite clear from this, if you look at it, he hates cyclists anymore, most car drivers do.
Yeah.
That's why. But the final section is I want to touch on, because the final section is this final section is called Corrupted. And this goes on about things like internet privacy, grammar, and literary snobbery. So you can see, you get the feeling like he likes having a go at people all the time, but there's a very slight sense of humour in this one. But I want to read out a little extract called Literature Library. Okay?
Yeah.
And this is he's trying to go at libraries here, and you might appreciate this, okay? In the local literary library, under the section marked the Nazis, There are hundreds of books by gay, Jewish and socialist authors. At the end of each shelf, a box of matches. In a section marked Islam, there are 50 copies of the Quran and just one book of the interpretation, which changes frequently depending on which fundamental group has control of the shelf. So I mean, like it's intelligence that he's writing, isn't it, Sil?
Yeah.
But he said I think it's one of these sort of books where, tell me if you agree with this, like bits I've read out to you. It's not for everybody, is it?
No.
If you want writing, it's
not like reading, is it?
no, it's most definitely not like reading. I think it depends on the person who you are as a writer. I loved it because I've been places. I thought I got the humour, I got him. It might because we're roughly the same generation. Because I think he's only about just over a year older than me. But people that are much younger, young teenagers, it might go over their heads in places.
Yeah.
Did it go? How did you feel about those extracts I read to you?
The last couple of ones you read, I can see those being misinterpreted and loads of people deciding to take offence to them.
Yeah, but I say it's right. I think it's what he's doing writing. It's challenging, basically, isn't it? It's meant to make you think. So, but it depends. It depends what you're looking at as a person, I suppose. But I enjoyed it. It's a book that you've got to let it take its time to build up on you. I think really. So, because they are obviously they do entertain and also provoking thought on a wide range of topics. But it's one of those ones where it's most definitely not for everybody. But I did enjoy it.
Okay, so have you got anything else to say? Would you want to give it a score?
No weaknesses really, so. What do you reckon I'm going to give it?
I think you're going to recommend it.
It gets a 2 out of 10. Sorry, Tom, it doesn't. 8. Okay, guys, that's it for this month. Now, we do have hints what we're doing next month, don't we?
Yeah.
Do you want to start?
Stephen King.
And what Stephen King book is it?
Oh, I'm not going to narrow it down that far, am I?
That's true, Rob did nothing about it, so.
It could be anything.
That's true. Now, I'm going to say what I'm going to read next month because I've already read. I've read one of them. I've got them done. Anyone read a couple the other month would know I did a Tom Baker autobiography. I didn't know at the time when that one came out. Another one's come out since then called Baker at 80, which is an Audible book. So I've read that already. I'm also reading Paul Auster's, another Paul Auster book, 4321. Now, you have to tell people, Manda, what's doing my head in about that book already.
How big the book is?
It's 900 pages. And we don't mind, we don't have to give spoilers when it's the Stephen King book. But what problems did we encounter, Amanda, here then about this?
Carrying it around because it's heavy.
No, you were telling me, weren't you? Like you already started the Stephen King book early for July, didn't you? I took it as a hint it was one of his longer books, and it's about 450 pages, isn't it?
A bit more than that, but yeah, you're the one that bought me it for Christmas one year, so you should know how many pages it is.
Yeah, but like you got that Stephen King, that Paul Auster book about 2 years ago. You should know what length that book was. I didn't realise. I thought it was like something like it temperatures 700, 800 pages. So I told Amanda, right, well, you're going to do that, Amanda. I better join you with Paul Auster book I've never started.
But another book I've got for next month was about the same length as well.
Oh, what's that book then?
It's called Humankind. It's a non-fiction book.
Oh, cool. And do you know what your third book is going to be yet, or?
Yeah, it's an author we've reviewed before called Emily Koch.
Yeah, what books has she done before? Refresh my memory.
She did, I think it was called If I Die Before I Wake or something along those lines.
Oh, that one about the coma.
He was in a coma trying to solve his own murder.
Oh, right, yeah, I didn't know you got that book actually, so I've just completely forgotten. So that one's coming up. I've got a short story book as well. I've just had sent to me the other day. Called No Home in This World by Kevin Crowe. So you can see, guys and girls, we are all well ahead this month, man, aren't we already?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I've done one book, 2/3 away from the Paul Auster book, and I've got the short story one to do. That's not a long book. So how far into your books are you then?
I'm about more than halfway through the audio book, and about 120 something pages is a Stephen King book. I finished the Humankind book.
See, guys and girls, we're doing all right this next month already. I think I've read about 600 or something on the Paul Auster one, and a short story book isn't very long at all. So watch out for us at the beginning of July because we should be starting early next month. And Amanda, You said already you were considering doing extra episodes by yourself, weren't you? So
Yeah, I mean, I'll mention it here as well, but I'm also going to put a call out on Goodreads. But if anyone hears this and wants to, they've got a book or poetry collection, I'd say about between 5 and 7 minutes worth, then send an extract in and I can read it out in little mini episodes. State the title of the author in the book and hopefully it'll get you some sales if people like the sound of it.
good to me then. Anyway, guys and girls, that's it then, isn't it, Amanda?
Yeah.
Been a pleasure, as always, guys. See you say bye, Amanda.
Reading and
Bye,
bet.
Andy. See you soon.
Reading
Bye.
and bet. Reading and bet.